So Marketing Cloud will act as a receiver of data, and with that data, you have to trigger communications. So as Marketing Cloud is not the first place where your primary data sits, it is the second place. It has to be a proper, there has to be a proper setup of data model. You will get a lot of data about a customer, which is related to marketing. Suppose you take an example how the data architecture would be of Amazon. Amazon continuously sending you communications, whether you purchase something, you sign up, you sign out, or they send push notifications for marketing purposes. This, whenever you order, they try to send regular updates to you, whether with via push notifications, email, SMS. So it uses Marketing Cloud, but the architecture would be very complex because it has various categories of data, various categories of actions of customers told. You cannot have a single table to store every customer data. What customer has searched, what transaction customer has performed, on every action you have to send communications. So there will be multiple categories of data for Amazon. So Marketing Cloud data model is a topic where we have to see how to model those categories or those data architectures, so that whenever we receive data from other platforms, we are able to store it at correct place and we are able to make communications with that data. It is very important to understand data requirements of a company as a Marketing Cloud consultant before you do anything. There will be various companies which are having different kinds of data. E-commerce industry will have a different kind of data. Pharmaceutical industry will have a different kind of data. Manufacturing industries will have a different kind of data. Media and mass entertainment industries would have different kind of data. So every industry will have different kind of data, and you have to understand what kind of their data architecture is, which you have to make within Marketing Cloud to start receiving the data and start communicating with those data. And you also have to see which data model you have to choose within Marketing Cloud to satisfy that requirement. Data model is very important to understand at first place, because we have to model the data which is incoming from different platforms. So we should have the same architecture, whichever way the data is coming to our platform, created within Marketing Cloud, so that when data comes, it is received and stored in that architecture. There are different kinds of industries, but for Marketing Cloud, you can divide industries into two parts. One are the industries which send communications considering only profile of a customer, and the other industry which sends communication based on customer profile and behavior. You don't have to understand which domain that company is, whether it is pharmaceutical or insurance. That is not required for you to understand in Marketing Cloud. You have to understand that this industry sends a communication, but its communication, what type of communication this company has a requirement to send. Is it only satisfied with customer basic details like first name, last name, email address, phone number, age, gender, city, and these all basic profile information of a customer are all okay to send communications? Or the other type of industry which may require profile details and behavioral data. That means for e-commerce industry or Amazon, you see not only email address, phone number, all these are taken into action while sending communication. The behaviors of the customer, what customer has put into the cart, what customer has done transaction, has customer returned a product, has customer asked for, whenever there is a stock, it should be notified. So these are the behaviors. So we have to divide companies into two parts: the companies which only require basic profile data of a customer, or the companies which require profile and behaviors of a customer to send communications. You see news channels, or every news channel has their website and applications. News channel do not require your behavior. They are not selling you anything. Whatever news happened in India, outside India, you are getting regular updates. Whether you are 65 years old, 25, it is not mattered to them. They are just requiring your basic profile details, your name, your email address, your phone number, so that they can start sending SMS, emails, push notifications on any of the current affairs happening. But on the other hand, the communication you receive from e-commerce platforms are entirely different. They will definitely require your name, email address, phone number, because these are required to send you email, SMS, WhatsApp communications, push notifications. But on the other hand, their communication would be entirely dependent on the behaviors you show. Like you transacted, you kept product into the cart. So you, as a marketing cloud consultant, at first place have to understand that you are given a client. What is the data requirement of that client? Is that client architecture only based on personal profile, or the client is having a bigger necessity of behavioral data as well? Their business is entirely dependent on customer behavior, not the profile. So media and entertainment industries would use a different type of data model in marketing cloud, and e-commerce industries or any such industries which requires profile and behavior of a customer would use a different data model altogether. So two types of data model are present in marketing cloud: list-based data model and contact-based data model. When you are working with media entertainment industries where only profile data is required, you do not require a complex architecture of data model. You can maintain everything into a single table. What all profile attributes you can have of a customer: name, age, gender, phone number, country, date of birth. All these are the personal details of a customer which every company takes whenever you go on their platform. You go on any platform, they will ask your email address, name, so that they can communicate. These are the basic, know your customer things which every company requires, and then they are happy with that. They will start sending you blogs, promotional communications, and a lot of things. But certain companies are not satisfied just on having all these details. They want to deep dive into your actions. So for them, the data architecture would be complex. In a single table, you will be storing their profile details, but in other table, you will be storing their transaction details, what product they have purchased, what is the bill amount they have, acquired, what is the quantity of product, color, size, image of the product. In a different table, you will arrange that data about customer behavior in terms of transaction. You can have any other kind of customer data stored: what customer is searching, what customer has put into a cart. That is a different kind of behavioral data you have to maintain into a different table. So contact-based data model would require complex data architecture to be created in marketing cloud, so that you can store behaviors. Behaviors are unlimited. You bring a new feature in your website, a new behavior of customers will emerge. So behaviors are endless. You cannot predict what a customer can do on your platform. You have to track their behavior, and then you have to make strategy to communicate, to automate things and processes, so that you make your customer feel good and well communicated. So to have a simple data requirement, we have list-based data model, which is a simple data model. And to have a complex data stored, we have contact-based data model, which is a relational data model. Relational data model means there will be multiple tables linked to each other, having multiple relationships. Because storing behaviors are not easy, they require complex architecture that are into relationships. So contact-based data model is a relational data model, and list-based data model is not a relational data model. It is a single table model. So you cannot relate anything to any other. If you have understanding what is relational and non-relational, you can easily understand. So your first interview question: what are the data models in marketing cloud? There are two types of data model, list-based data model and contact-based data model. What are list-based data models? You will be asked in your interview, what are list-based data models? List-based data models are simple data models used to store only customer profiles. What are the customer profiles? First name, last name, email address, phone number, everything personal to a customer, which you require to communicate with that customer, to know your customer. So that is a simple data and can be maintained in a non-relational data model, which is list. So the first property of list is it is non-relational data model. The second property of list is in a list, you can maintain up to 5 lakh data, 5 lakh people data. Or you can say in Marketing Cloud, in a list, you can maintain up to 5 lakh subscribers. Now you have to understand who are subscribers. In a list, we can store up to 5 lakh subscribers. Subscriber is nothing but the customer data, personal data, profile data only. But that data will only flow to Marketing Cloud if they have subscribed somewhere. You have not stolen it somewhere. You cannot have anybody's data who has not subscribed to your communication, whether online or offline, into Marketing Cloud. So as a Marketing Cloud consultant, the first compliance you have to make sure is the data you are using are your subscribers. How you will make subscribers? You have a sign up form on your website. Somebody has subscribed. You collect email addresses offering ebooks or different promotions. Then people subscribe, submitting their communications. You go on malls or you collect customer data on streets. You will take a handbook and write their name, email address, phone number, and then you feed into a system. That is a process to make that customer a subscriber. So a subscriber is a person who has subscribed himself to your communications. You have not stolen that data. That means you cannot use any data in Marketing Cloud. The data you have to use is the customers who have already given their details to you. If you do not comply this, your company would be sued because you cannot use anybody's data. There is a law called GDPR, General Data Regulation and Protection, in which you cannot have anybody's personal data without their will and interest. So if you steal the data and somebody receives email who has not subscribed to your communication, he can easily go and tell to court that I never subscribed to this communication and they have intentionally kept my data in their system. So in a list, you have to create subscribers. Subscribers are the person who have subscribed to your communication. So the second property of a list is it can hold up to 5 lakh subscribers. If you have more subscribers, then you have to go and create a new list. Then that list will also have 5 lakh subscribers. It cannot exceed 5 lakh subscribers limit. List supports limited data types. List supports limited data types, text, numeric, date. That means whatever attributes you create in a list, suppose you want to store first name of a customer, first name is an attribute. Last name of a customer, last name is an attribute. So whatever attribute you create in a list will have only 3 data types: text, numeric, and date. That is why list is simple data model. Try to understand with an example. You want to store transactional data about a customer to send a communication, an invoice whenever he transacts. The problem statement is you have to send a transactional communication in a form of invoice to a customer who has transacted. The customer has transacted and the value of total transaction was $27.71. So now you have to keep this data into a list. To have $27.71 stored into a list, you require a decimal data type. That is not available in a list. List is not available to store behaviors of a customer. Transaction is a behavior. You want to store if somebody has purchased or not purchased. That means you have to store a Boolean value, true or false. That Boolean value you are using to take decisions on customer behavior. The Boolean data type is not supported into a list. You want to store country of a customer, not the country name, but the country ISO code. That means for India, it is IN, United States of America, it is USA, United Kingdom is UK, Australia, AU, Japan, JP. You have to store ISO codes of a country. You require a special data type called local data type. You cannot store into a list. So list only supports 3 data type because it is meant to store personal profile data of a customer. It can be either text, numeric, or date. Now we will understand how to create a list practically in Marketing Cloud. Lists are the part of first data model in Marketing Cloud. While understanding list, we understood 2 things. What is a subscriber and what are the properties of list? A subscriber is something you have to understand that he should have subscribed to some communications. And then you have that data. And the other thing is list is a simple data model. It supports 3 data types, text, numeric, date, and a list contains up to 5 lakh subscribers. You will be asked what are subscribers, what is a list-based data model, what is difference between list and contact-based data model. We will try to understand. So in order to create a list, we have to go to Email Studio because list is only a feature of Email Studio. So suppose tomorrow you want to send the invoice to a customer via email. Your company management asks that now we have to send invoice via SMS as well as tomorrow we have to rope in sending a push notification whenever a transaction happens. So in that case, you cannot use lists because lists are only available for Email Studio. But these are very important for you to understand one type of data model in Marketing Cloud. So to create a list, we came inside the Email Studio, and this is the user interface of Email Studio in front of us. You have to understand the most important thing here inside the Email Studio, which is subscribers drop down and 50% chances to have 50% and 100% chances to have 50% interview questions from these drop down. So if you understand everything in this drop down, that means you are 50% eligible to have Marketing Cloud jobs if you do not already do that. So in order to create list contains subscribers. So we will go to subscribers drop down. And inside subscribers drop down, we have lists option. We will click there. Subscribers drop down are very important. One by one, we will try to understand every feature in detail with examples. Once you clicked on subscribers drop down and went to list, this type of user interface will come. My lists are highlighted on the left. Expand this and you can create your own folder here. It is very necessary to manage content in specific folders. So under my list, you can create folders. Right click here. And click on new folder option. Once you click on new folder option, you can name the folder at the bottom. SFMC batch 36. And this is the name of the folder which we have created. Once we have created the folder, we will get a blank folder. We have a create button. To create a list, you have to click on create option. Define the name of the list. B36 list 01 is the name of the list. You can give any name. Once you have given the name, you have to click on save option. Once you have saved, your list is created. Once you click here, you see that list has opened and there are some predefined attributes. Email address, status, subscriber key, created date, edit date, add by date, modified, everything. What is this and why is this? Lists are the default data model in Marketing Cloud, which will follow a default template. Another property of a list, we are not asked what attributes of list you want to create. While you create a table, you will be asked what all things you want to store about a customer, give their names. So I will tell I want to store name, email address, phone number. Then a table is created. But while we created a list, nothing was asked from us. Directly a list was created, and when we went inside that list, we see a lot of attributes are predefined. Why? Because list is a simple data model, a default data model of Marketing Cloud. And as it is a default data model and it stores customer profile, so Salesforce has already provided certain attributes which are required to create a customer profile. So these are the required attributes which Salesforce has provided by default, which should be maintained in a list. Whatever list you create will have all these attributes created by default. You can add or delete more attributes. How to add or delete more attributes? Again, you have to go to subscribers drop down and you have to click on profile management. List stores customer profile. So that profile is managed in profile management. Whatever profile of a customer you want to store, you can create in a profile management, and that attribute will be enabled in a list. You see, already there are a lot of attributes created inside profile management. Profile management is nothing but contains some default attributes provided by Salesforce, like email address, first name, last name, uses system default, and many custom attributes which we created, like SFMC1, landmark AA, whatever extra attribute you may require to save about a customer. Now, while you create an extra attribute, you are only given choice to select the 3 available data types. How to create extra attribute? You have to click on create option. It is very important to understand what we are seeing here. So here you can create BATCH36 as an extra attribute here, and click on data option on the top. You can select which data type will have this attribute, whether it is text, date, or numeric. Only 3 data types available. Click on OK, and that extra attribute is created. Once that attribute is created, you can go and look back to the list, and you will see that you will go back to this list and you will see that that attribute is also available in this list. At the end, you will see that batch 36 attribute we just created is also available. So list follows a default template. Whenever you create a list, that template is already created. That template is available inside profile management. If you want to add or remove any attribute from a list, you can do it from profile management. Your another interview question: how to modify attributes of a list? We have to go to subscribers drop down in Email Studio and go to profile management, and then from there we can add, modify attributes. We can create attributes with only 3 data types: text, numeric, and date. Now, as I told, list follows a common template. If I go and create any other list, it will also have the same template. If I go and create any other list, list 02, and click on save option, it will also have the same template. Email address, status, subscriber key, and at the last batch 36 custom attribute which we created. So it is pretty understood that list follows a common template which can be created in profile management. So we in two different lists, that means list 01 and list 02, you cannot have different types of data stored. Different types of data means in one list you want to store about customer profile, first name, last name, email address, phone number, age, gender, and the other table you want to store about customer behaviors, like what are the transactions made, product purchase, quantity, bill, color of the product, size of the product, brand of the product, that you want to store. That you cannot store because lists have a common template which is shared for everybody. You cannot maintain two different types of data here about a list. So lists are non-relational because whatever data you create about a customer is always profile data. Each data follows a common profile template. So there is no relation between two different lists because it contains the same data about a customer, same first name, same last name, same email address. You cannot have behavioral data in one and profile data in one, and then can have a relation. So lists are non-relational. That is proved because they have a common profile template. Now, how to create subscriber in a list? In a list, I told you whatever data you create is your subscriber. Creating a data without a subscription is an offense. It will violate GDPR compliance, General Data Regulation and Protection. So you will be asked, what is GDPR compliance in your interviews? So now in order to create a data into a list or a subscriber into a list, you have a create button if you want to create it manually. Once you click on create button, you can click on next button. Two mandatory attributes of a subscriber are email address and subscriber key. Two mandatory attributes are email address and subscriber key. The other attributes are not mandatory. That means are the custom attributes which you have created. But by default, Salesforce Marketing Cloud will have subscriber key and email address, non-editable, non-deletable attribute in the profile management template of a list. So in order to create data, you have to define subscriber key and email address. Now, what is subscriber key? What is subscriber key? Subscriber key is a unique number to identify a subscriber. A unique number to identify a subscriber. Suppose you have a roll number in your school, college registration number in your colleges, you are working somewhere, you have an employee number. Similarly, in Marketing Cloud, there is a subscriber, it will be defined as subscriber key. The Marketing Cloud do not generate any subscriber key. Marketing Cloud is not the first place you get the data. So the data will come to a CRM or a database which will have tendency to auto-generate subscriber key. Like people who have worked in Salesforce Sales and Service Cloud, see that data first comes as a lead. That lead is given a lead ID. Then to market that lead, that data flows to Marketing Cloud with lead ID as subscriber key and email address as lead email address. So subscriber keys are not generated in Marketing Cloud. If you are using Marketing Cloud as second place, not the first place which receives the incoming data, then it is higher possibilities that the system which has received the data like CRM database will auto-generate subscriber keys and that will be passed to Marketing Cloud. But in case you are using Marketing Cloud as first source of truth of data only, There is no database or CRM. You are a small company, you don't want to invest. You just want to have Marketing Cloud. You have a bulk data, whatever data you want to have, from where you got, that is your concern, but you just want to enable marketing from Marketing Cloud. So you don't have subscriber keys. In that case, you can use your email address, your subscriber key only, because Marketing Cloud will not auto generate the subscriber key. Subscriber keys you get from other platform, or if you are not using any platform, you can use your email address as subscriber key. What we will do here, we will try to have some sample subscriber keys auto created from us, and we will use that, which is a best compliance. So B36 sub key 01, suppose, is our subscriber key, and email address I am putting here. These are the two mandatory fields which we have to define as a subscriber. You can add extra attributes as well. You can add extra attributes as well and click on next option. Once we click on next option, we can finish this. Once we do this, the subscriber will be created in Marketing Cloud list. Now you have to go back from here. On the top, you have a back button, and then you come inside again in order to refresh a list, and you see that the subscriber is created. So the subscriber keys, instead of SUB, I have written SOB. It was a mistake, but this is a subscriber key which we manually created, and this is the email address which we have created. All these attributes are added by default. And we also added first name, last name, age, gender, city. We have done that. The same thing we can do with bulk data as well. Suppose we have 5 lakh records. A list can support up to 5 lakh records. How to bulk upload the data? You have an import button here. Click on import button and you can upload a file. So how to do that? We will try to see with some dummy values. You have to open Excel here. Once you open Excel, you can define attributes you want to import. Suppose you want to import subscriber key and email address of customers into a list. Subscriber key and email address of a customer into a list. First name, last name are all optional. You can have it. Okay. So now we will try to generate subscriber keys. Suppose first name is F1, last name is L1, subscriber key is this, email address is this. We have to bulk import the data. What I will do, I will orchestrate this and I will get data in orchestrated manner. It is simple to save time. Now I have to save this file as CSV file. We have to save this file as CSV file. List upload. And from here we have to select CSV file. It will be asked in your interview, what types of files are supported? CSV and TXT, 2 types of files are supported while you import data into Marketing Cloud. So now, as you have prepared your file with that bulk data, you can click on import option. Once you click on import option, Once you click on import option, you can click on next. Once you click on next option, you get this message which you have to click on I agree. What is this message? We already discussed. This message tells that before importing an email list into our application, you must first verify that the list you are importing contains only email address from individuals that have given you express permission to send them email. That means they have given their permission, they have subscribed. Such email addresses are also referred to as opt-in addresses, meaning that they have opted to give you permission to send them email. By checking the I agree checkbox below, you verify that this email distribution list qualifies as an opt-in list because all members of this list expressively provided direct consent to you or your company to send email messages. So you should be having only original data of a customer who has given you permission to send communication. Now, once you click on next, you can import data from your computer. But you can only import data from your computer, which is up to 20 MB. If it exceeds 20 MB, then there is another method to do, which we will see later in our course. Once we have selected the file to bulk import, we will click on next option. And once we have clicked on next option, here are the attributes of file and right hand side are the attributes of list, which you have to map. So subscriber key you have to map with subscriber key. Subscriber key of the file is mapped to subscriber key of a list. Email address of the list is mapped to email address of the list. First name and last name are already detected and are mapped. Why subscriber key and email address are not detected? Because in list there is subscriber space key and in the file I have not given space. That is why they are not detected. But first name and last name in the list are not having space the same way we have written in the file. So it is detected. After mapping, we'll click on next option and we click on begin option. Once we click on begin option, the bulk data is getting imported and is complete now. You can upload up to 5 lakh subscribers in a list. We have tried to upload 8-10 subscribers. We will go inside the list and we see that bulk data is imported. Subscriber keys are changed. First name, last name are also imported.